Always a pleasure to see you.
All right, what's up, baby?
Hey, it's same old, same old. Hey, you've obviously played at a high level in the NFL, a two-time former All-Pro. But when a cornerback seems to go through a period of struggles, what is your message to them as drawn from your own experience as a cornerback and also as a coach?
And when you going through struggles at this position, we always talk about you got to have a short memory because other teams are going to continue to watch the film, see the little small nuances that you're not picking up, and they're going to continue to try to attack those issues. But you got to work through them. And when you have practice time and you have downtime, and after practice and the coaches are giving you all the little small nuggets, you have to go out there and practice on them. But majority of that stuff is really done in the off season because it moves so fast through the course of the season, and one game plan switches throughout the course of the week. It's kind of hard to fix little small things. So during the off season, where we always talk about players, you have to get this stuff done in the off season, then just make little adjustments during the season.
And specifically that coach, obviously Charvarius Ward was hard on himself on Twitter. He mentioned after the Jets game, he was in a slump. How encouraged are you when you see a player be hard on himself like that?
Just try to talk him through it. And I was looking at him like, why are you so hard on yourself? You're doing some really good things, even though you have one hand. But he wanted to be that dominant corner, throughout the course of the season. But things come up, injuries happens. This is the NFL. And, guys, they're going to watch those things throughout the course of the season. And, they get injury reports and they're going to try to attack those things. But he was able to fight through it and then just continue just to talk him through them and then just encourage him throughout the course of that time. And now he's playing very well. So just happy for him that he's able to stick with it and not get into a deep funk and being able to fight his way out of it.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Sam. This is kind of a two-part question for you, but can you explain what the mood and the atmosphere was with the guys watching the film shortly after the loss to the Raiders and how it may have changed or what the mood was like looking at it now going into the rematch on Sunday?
One of the things when you look at those guys and you listen to them going to the locker room, they felt that they let each other down because there was some plays that was left out there on the football field, and then just listening to them throughout the course of the meeting. And, they have their little group sessions and, you can hear the things over the top. Listen, guys, if we make one or two plays on third down, we get off the football field, we win that game. And, now when they come out of practice yesterday, they're flying around, they're moving around, they're thinking about it, they're talking about it. And, even in their breaks, throughout the course of the meetings, those are the little things that they're talking about. These guys know that they're going to get their very best from each and every team every single week. And they know they have to put their best foot forward. And that's what we're trying to portray to them. You can't take anybody lightly. You got to be prepared every single week. You're going to see some new things. You're going to see some old things. But bottom line is you got to expect anything from anybody any given week. So, just having these guys and listening to one another and talking football on a consistent basis, that's the most encouraging part out of this group of guys that we have, not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive side as well. That's how close these guys are. They talk one another and they talk through a lot of things.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Sam. With regard to L'Jarius Sneed, whether he comes back this week, next week, whenever it is, what's reasonable to expect from a young guy like that when he's first getting back into this after missing so much time? And Brad, I'll have one quick follow-up.
Well, I'm just the way that he started off at the beginning of the season. I'm trying to see if he could pick up right where he left off, because he was playing at a high level. And just from his maturity since he stepped into the building, you can really see it, on a daily basis with this kid. So I'm just really happy to just see how he worked his way through. And normally when you get young guys in this situation, they get an injury, they will fall into a tank. Every single day this kid came with a smile on his face. He was talking football. He was encouraged, and, he didn't have a slump. And he didn't get into a slump. So, just happy to just see him running around out there. He did a lot of conditioning throughout the course of, the time that he was down. And, out there on scout team, he was moving around extremely well. So it's just going to be a situation where Coach Reed, makes a decision if he's going to be up or he's going to be down, and Coach Spags feeling comfortable enough to be able to implement him into the defense, but just trying to work his way back in so we don't have any setbacks.
Yeah. And also DeAndre Baker, I'm just wondering what you remember about him when he was coming out in the draft last year.
Very a press corner, a physical guy, a ball hawk, a guy that's always around the football. I've known this kid for a very long time, from Florida. But we don't really know. So we just want to get him into the building, get him used to the Kansas City way of doing things and implementing that. But when you have an opportunity to grab a first round talent and implement into your scheme, into your system, Veach and Coach Reed, they did an awesome job of having an opportunity to get him here. So, getting him and getting him caught up to speed the way that we do things, that's going to be the most important part.
We've got two left, guys. We'll go Seren and then Pete to close it out. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, kind of to follow up on that, he had some struggles, right? Young players will do that, but he struggled a lot really with the Giants. How much is that, do you come in overconfident out of the SEC? I'm talking in general. I know you don't have him in here and working with him, but, and how much better can you get year one to year two after you've had a tough first year?
It's going to start right here, and it's going to start up here, so it's our job to get him in a position to be successful. Just when we were doing and I was doing, my evaluation of him, I thought, if I had opportunity to work with him as well as Coach Merritt, I think that we would be able to get him in a position, and that's what we're going to have to do. Veach brings the talent and Coach Reed brings it, and it's our job to get them, to playing fast, understanding the system, and, believing in themselves. And that's one of the things, with the group of guys that we have in our room, they don't shy away from work. And, being that he's been out of football for a while now, he's just got to catch up speed and the speed of the room. And, having guys like Breland, Tyron, and Ward as well, who's picked up their level of play, he's going to have to just fit in exactly where these guys are, and understanding that we do still have some very talented young corners on our team with Sneed as well as Bo Keys and the rest of the guys, Fenton. So, seeing the way that we played so far, and hopefully he just got to add to what his skill set is to what we already have in the room.
And let's go to Pete Sweeney next. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, Juan Thornhill, as we know, was playing really strong before the playoffs last year in the big injury. So you've had a chance at the bye week to maybe eval how he's looked. How is his progress and maybe getting back to that level of play?
We working at it every single day. It baffles me, just to see how quickly he's made it back. 8 months. I've been around this game for a very long time, and seeing guys in these type of situations, it takes them a year and a half to really get back. But, the way that he fought throughout the course of the offseason, and, being that he had a lot of downtime, and, it was spent of him recovering and not out there running and jumping and moving around and doing a lot of rehab. Coach Reed and the trainers down there, they got him back really, really fast. But, he's still a work in progress, and he's only going to get better. He's only going to get stronger. He knows the defense. So that's the great part about it. Having more knowledge and not having to think as much. For as the beginning of last year, he had to think. Now he don't really have to think as much, and he can just focus on what's in front of him, getting the calls out, and then just going to make plays. So he's getting better every single week. He just need to get stronger and hopefully have no setbacks. But he's doing an awesome job, and being up for a young guy to have that type of injury and coming back this fast.